They went off to war feeling first and foremost that they are Australians, and you came back an Australian, and that was it.
Almost 417,000 Australians enlisted to fight in the Great War. Among them were 200 or so Chinese Australians. They did their bit despite the obstacles set in their way, mainly in the form of the White Australia policy.
Despite the fact the Act of 1909 say you have to be substantially of European descent, they ignore that because they're born in Australia. Half of the parentage is Australian, Caucasian Australian. Some of them are full Chinese, but the fact they're born here, they see themselves Australian.
And of being from Victoria. Around half the Chinese Australians who left these shores for faraway battlefields came from this state.
Most of them come from Ballarat, Bendigo, Castlemaine area, and the other group from Yarram, Port Albert. A lot of them were actually descendants from Goldfield. And that's why quite a few of them actually were in a tunnelling company because they're miners, and also working in the bush. 15 of them were in the light horse regiments because they're good horsemen.
There are many individual and family stories in this exhibition, which in many ways is filling in some blanks in Australia's military history.
Apart from the National Archives of Australia, unless we could identify someone positively with Chinese heritage, it was really quite difficult to find. And what we did next was to try and move on to families to do an outreach.
So you get these pleasant surprises when you start looking. You find cross-references and say, there's another one. There's another one. So we're now 206. So hopefully by end of this year, with the contribution from descendants, we may get up to a larger number than 206.
It's definitely more than just about war. It's about how they perceive themselves within Australia as well. The Chinese in Australia have had a very long history in this place. Most of them, or in fact all of them, call Australia home. It's how Australia has been treating them in the past that has led to some families being very hesitant to own up to Chinese ancestry. And that was one of the things that we've had to confront and to work with families to mitigate that. There are some families that still have divides between them. Half of them are happy that the content is up, and half of them do not want to participate at all.
Despite that, there's plenty to honour and commemorate. 19 of the Chinese Australian Anzacs were decorated for valour. Around 40 of them paid the ultimate price of serving their country. But after the armistice,
whether you're Aussie or Australian and Chinese, the bureaucracy treat you just as badly.
did they march on Anzac Day?
This we don't know. This we need to be told by the families whether their ancestors marched on Anzac Days or did not. But this is something we cannot find out from our historical research at this point. We hope this is the beginning of the story, not the end.
Like much of the broader history of World War I, this particular story is slowly coming into focus.
Here's our first item.
And the Upwey Belgrave RSL Museum is playing its part, loaning some of its memorabilia.
In my experience in Vietnam, once you are in the situation where you're in a war zone, race and religion and politics very quickly take very much a back seat. Day-to-day survival is far more important.
The exhibition runs until just before Christmas. Those who put it together believe the stories it tells will resonate far beyond Chinatown.
We want the Chinese-Australian community to be proud of this country that is our adopted country. For the white Australian community, we like them to actually know that we are not foreigners. We are guests and fellow citizens of this country, and work together like in the armed forces in First World War, that we're in the trenches together. We're mates.